Just say, if I don't have you on my list, you need to talk to me. They'll like,
Good morning, Gate City Rotary.
Morning.
Did it rain at anybody get any rain at their house this week?
Not at all.
Dry as a bone in my place. Well, we got a brand new year. It's going to be great. Lots of exciting things. Great program today. Big crowd here. I think everybody came to see if I actually would dress up. I've already been scolded by Dennis Marcotte. He thought I was going to wear a suit. I told him I don't own one.
I can help you with that.
Rachel can help. That's great. Ralph Jones will do our invocation.
Let me finish my bacon. Bow your heads, please. It's for the new board. Grant to these, our newly elected president and board, wisdom, courage, and insight, so that we all may be led to new horizons of service, which is our purpose of Rotary. Accept our gratitude for this food, for our high calling to serve. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For the things we do in City Rotary, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Gotta get that down.
We're going to start something new this year, guys. We're going to have a Rotary moment. After the person who gives the invitation, they're going to tell something they remember about Rotary or something that stands out. I'm still chewing my bacon. That's not my memory.
It's going to be our memory.
One of the things that really stands out to me in Rotary is one time we picked up trash on Westover over by Grimsley, and what stood out to me was the impact that we had on the community, but also took my children and my dad. My son, when we got done, said, "Dad, I want to be a Rotary." Be a Rotary when I get old. So that's another real story.
Rotary's a bunch of old men and their fathers.
Yeah. Chip, remind me, Rotary is for old men and their fathers.
Yeah.
In your case, it's for young men and their fathers. Rachel.
Yes.
Sergeant at Arms.
Morning, everyone. By the way, I have a 7:30 conference call, so I'm going to have to duck out early. So if there's anybody that walked in late that hi Ross, I see you. Okay. Anybody else that I missed? I got you. Got you guys. Hey, Jonathan, how are you? Okay, awesome. So again, good morning. This morning, visiting from Crescent, we have Charlie Finch. And from Guilford, we have two guests, Mike Troxler and Bob Glenn. And all the way from Orlando, Florida, we have Lynn Luzader. And a couple of guests. John, I missed about 3 weeks ago. Are you still a guest or are you a member?
I think I'm still a guest.
Okay. Chip, would you introduce your guest?
He's on double secret probation.
Yeah.
And Jim Kennedy has a guest as well.
Tony Rollins is here.
Hello. And Bobby Christensen, you have a guest as well.
Yeah, Tom Richardson's back there.
That's it, thank you.
Announcements. We have a guest, Charlie Finch from Crescent Rotary, would like to tell us something about what they have going on over there.
Thank you, Bobby, and thank you for letting me come. I bring greetings from fellow club members over at Crescent. I think Crescent and Gate City have a unique relationship over the years. I'm here this morning to talk to you just briefly about a new program, a new initiative we're bringing to the Triad that we're really excited about. It's going to be our service project for the year, and it's called Purple Heart Homes. And some of you may have started to see the the advertising that's ramping up about this. And this is an effort to provide homes for veterans coming back, wounded warriors from Afghanistan and Iraq. We are going to be sponsoring a young man by the name of Nathan Harris. He's 29 years old. He was on his 3rd tour in Iraq and Afghanistan. And for those of you that have been in combat and heard stories about combat, you know when you get close to the end of your tour, you start to worry that something's going to happen. Well, that's when it happened to Nathan. The day before his unit was to go out on its last mission, he was hit by machine gun fire from a Soviet-made machine gun. It entered through his hip and went out through his other knee. He's been through 10 surgeries. He lost so much blood, he had some brain damage. He has memory loss, PTSD, can't sleep at night. So, you know, these young men and women that are coming back, all are coming back with scars. Some of them you can see, some of them you can't. And so the Purple Heart Homes was established a few years ago by 2 Iraq veterans who live in Statesville. And since that time, they've done about 20 homes. And so what we're going to do is we're working with the bank to get a home that's been foreclosed on and get a good price on that. And Nathan will have a small mortgage, and after about 5 years, the mortgage will be paid off. But what we're doing is we're trying to raise money to go in and outfit this home to suit his needs. Widen doors if need be for a wheelchair, chairs, lower the access to cabinets, etc. So that is our project for the year. There's a flyer on your table. I apologize that it needs to be updated. We just recently got approval to sell tickets to Wet and Wild for an additional month through the month of August. And at the bottom of that, you can see the sponsors that are working with us, Wet and Wild. Timco is going to provide us with a donation and also some of the manpower to help with the renovation. WFMY is helping us with the advertising. You should see some advertising on some bulletin boards around town, the electronic bulletin boards. That'll give you a little bit more information. I'm here to just tell you about the program, tell you we're excited about it, and to ask for your help. Not in a large way, but just in a small way. First off, if you have children or grandchildren that you're going to take to Wet and Wild, if you'll seek me out or one of the Crescent members and buy the tickets, we're selling them at just under $6 off the gate price, which the actual price for you would be $30. And then we get $10 to put toward our fund to retrofit the building, the house for Nathan. There's another thing floating around. There's some coupons that are going to be showing up from Wet and Wild at Krispy Kreme and Chick-fil-A, and they're for $5 off, and we'll get about $3 off of each one of those. So the way we make the most money is if someone wants to make a direct donation. Of course, that would be 100% of that would go into the pot. Or we get $10 off of each ticket we sell, or we get $3 off of each ticket or each coupon that's used from Chick-fil-A or Krispy Kreme. But where I really need your help is to help get the word out. I'm going to be sending Bobby a Word document that has a patriotic flyer like that, and also a sheet with a little bit more information on the project. If you're so inclined, and it wouldn't bother you to do that, if you're a member of another club, some other type of club, a church, a Sunday school class, if you would send that flyer on, that Word document on to them, and just try to get the word out again. To most of us, you know, a little older, have children of that age. We might have grandchildren of that age to go to Wet and Wild. Heaven help us if some of us go and go on some of those rides. I went about 20 years ago, and I didn't think I was going to survive then. So. Anyway, that's, you know, we don't expect this to go viral, but we can make it go in 60s terms geometric by getting people to send it on to their friends who send it on to their friends. And my name and phone number and email's on the flyer, and we'll get the updated flyer. And anything you can do to help out, we would greatly appreciate it, particularly, like I said, with spreading the word. Any questions? Yes.
I was going to ask what your total goal is on what you're trying to raise here, what you think your budget will be for this house, and do you plan to carry this on to other houses for other people?
First off, we think $30,000 to $50,000 to retrofit the home. We don't actually have the home yet. It has not been designated. And in terms of carrying it on, we hope to. We'll just have to see. This is the first year and see how well it takes. But there's certainly an interest in doing a lot for veterans. I'm a 22-year Air Force retiree, and I'm sure there are other veterans in the room who have a real connection with veterans who are coming home now. And this PTSD stuff, it's real. I've seen some that's, I met one gentleman from the Second World War. This was 60 years afterwards. Met him in the hospital. I was waiting in the waiting room, and when he sat down, we started talking. We didn't shake hands, but I got up to leave, and I reached toward him, and he jumped back like this, and he said, sir, please don't be offended. He said, I can come to you, but if you move toward me, I can't handle it. And he had been in Saipan in the Second World War, where we had some of the worst hand-to-hand combat, so I'm sure bayonets and other things being thrust at him contributed to that. But that was 60 years plus after he had the incident overseas. So anyway, it's a great project. We'd love to see it take off here in the Triad. There's been some work for a veteran, I think, up at Snow Camp, but I don't think there's been anything else here specifically in the Triad. So Bobby, if it's okay, I'll send you that email with the Word document, and you'll forward it to your folks, and if y'all will be kind enough to forward it on to others, we would greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. We have several members who are amphibious.
And I want to say hello to the Dennis brothers, as they refer to themselves, who frequent our club real often for makeups. So we've had two show up at the same time, but we've never had all three, so we're looking forward to that day.
Thank you.
Thank you
Great
again.
program. Birthdays, anniversaries. Kevin Barth.
We've got a few. We've got is for our anniversaries on 7/7 was Tom and Julie Nelson. How many years was that?
34.
We also had, for last week, was some birthdays, so we'll break out our black armbands. It is for James Edwards, which was the 4th of July. And on the 2nd was Vic Nussbaum. All right.
Thank you, Kevin. My favorite part of the program. Happy Dollars.
Pin up demand, 2 weeks worth. This is a happy dollar for my good friends Bobby and Darlene. It would have been more, but I didn't have any change. I had to borrow that from John, which would get me in big trouble with the NASD and SEC since he's also a client. To Bobby, the most nervous person in the room today, as our new president. And I want everybody to give a standing ovation to Darlene, the most relaxed person, for her great work. I'll bring you another $1 next week.
Well, I was going to say, if he's your client, he should have a lot of dollars.
He does, but I can't borrow them.
Oh, okay.
Cheryl. Happy dollar for my daughter Blair. She got married this weekend at Chatola. I've learned a few lessons. Never have a wedding on a holiday weekend. Never have a wedding outside. And the other lesson is just to have fun and everything will work out. Chatola at the last minute said, we can't put you outside, it's lightning. Beside the torrential flooding. So they canceled everyone in the restaurant that night, turned it over to us. By the time the lighting guy and the wedding planner were done, it was beautiful, and it was a very soulful event. So,
well, I hope everybody had a good time over the last 2 weeks.
I'm going to start collecting the money for you.
Well, it just makes me nervous. Is this enough for 2 here? All right. There you go. All right, first, number 1. I had 2 kids go up to Camp Raven for a week at camp. When they got there, they got skunks, literally. 7 skunks in their campsite. Sprayed a tent right next to there, all this fun stuff. So I thought, okay, so we're going up there. It's been the entire time. I go visited them today, and so there were by the time we got there, they said they had had 4 more skunks visit their campsite halfway through. And so I brought boots, and I was surprised that my 3rd son was able to destroy a pair of my boots in 2 days. But I got them back, and I'm ready to work in the service part. So.
All right.
Great.
Mine will be very quick. This is a big deal for me. I'm in, for the first time, 2 matching shoes today. 6 months. They're cute shoes, so. Thank you.
Those doctors get 2 of those boots so you'd at least match.
No change.
I just bought everybody for the rest of the meeting.
Showing up looking trouble.
Anyway,
It was a
so
trick. You got it.
I decided to get the trotting and everything and wait for the 4th of July outing because we decided to cancel our trip and stay here. In the middle of all of that, I saw a very handsome judge that I know going out there like, I just feel so American right now. And my husband goes like, really, Judge Hassel goes to the parade? I'm like, everybody goes to the parade. That's my first happy dog. Yesterday, I brought to someone I know that, oh, my kid sleeps throughout the night, no problems at all. The only problem is me. Then this morning, I got up, all dressed up. I was ready by 6:20. And I'm like, okay, honey, I'll see you guys when I get back. The next thing I know, there was, I'm like, oh, he's gonna
That
be
was
fine.
Casper.
That was exactly what I thought. Went into the car, put the key in, and there was another one. So I'm like, should I go? Should I stay? And then the next thing I know, my husband comes down with the baby and is like, I've tried everything. I've tried everything. So I took the baby, and as soon as I took the baby, obviously, he quieted. Which my husband got really, really sad. Why is it that whenever he's crying, I pick and this doesn't work? And the next thing I know, I had to go and change. That is why I am not. I don't dress to that. How come these things don't come with a manual? Somebody please, I need a manual. Thank you.
Oh.
It's a happy $2. One is, again, an elegant year that Darlene did. I don't want to do another stand-up in an elegant year. And also, I had to miss because I was at Pier Furniture making a meeting in Lancaster, but Bobby's presentation or speech was most impressive for a guy that doesn't wear shoes and doesn't dress up like that. That was very impressive. Thank you.
I have 3. First one is for Buster. And thank you, Buster and Lisa, for driving me to the assembly. So I could have that
With all the alcohol, it
So
worked
I could
out
have
good.
that second. Okay, this is for Guy. I spent 6.5 hours visiting Guy at his office last Tuesday, and yet I was still able to make my press deadline yesterday for our One City, One Book project. We are going to read Into the Beautiful North by Louise Urea. We did this in 2008, had 10,000 people, actually probably closer to 12, more people than Chicago read a book in Greensboro. And this book involves Mexican Americans and Mexicans in a road trip. It's a great novel. So, but I was able to make my press deadline thanks to Guy's good hands. I guess I should say that. And then this is for Darlene.
All right.
Yeah, I got $3 in change, so I have to think of 3 happy dollars again. First one, you just said that Darlene is all relaxed, so am I, because after, I don't know, close to 7 years, I don't have to do birthday. I did it 7 years ago, and I think within half a year I got this assignment. For Kevin to be a piece of cake, because the old timers know the guy who did it before me came into every meeting carrying a gun on his hip. So I was really, and it was not shit. Some people may remember remember. I can't remember what his name was. What the police.
Craig Hartley.
So I thought it was really dangerously off. Second happy dollar is I emailed a few times around about an exchange student that the district is bringing in. That all seems to be working out now. There's like a puzzle and a hassle with the paperwork, but it's all put to bed. And we also volunteered to become the host family. So Cynthia and I are going to be the first host family. We already Skyped with the girl from Germany. So that's very exciting. Huh? And then my third is we have our own mini exchange student program that next week my nephew of 14 from the Netherlands is coming to visit us for a month because he wants to learn about the US. Maybe I'll drag him to a meeting. If he arrives, because he's 14 and he travels from the Netherlands on his own and has to change planes in Newark, so it's going to be really exciting.
Dorothy, I saw you over there waving.
All right, well, I just wanted to say my happy dollar is that I'm thankful that Zen is able to be here this morning and that my daughter is still well and around her two children. They went out to pick up pizza last night. So the kids came over because my two great kids and the worst storm in the world, of course, those of y'all that were in that thing hadn't thought they were out. Kelly said, Mom, I've never held on to anything so tightly as I was holding on to the door of Zen right. Sorry, Zen, you got her home safely, so thank you.
Buster, I was trying to get your attention. You're standing right here.
He's farsighted.
I'm nearsighted.
Well, not so nearsighted that you haven't owned up to something.
No, I'm getting ready to. It's not over. Grandpappy hasn't spoken yet. I'm keep waiting till you're ready.
All right, I'll let you off on that one. But there is somebody who I would like to call up. Jonathan Smith, would you please come join me? Well, there comes a time when you younger people will get to the point in life that I am, when you start cleaning things out of your house. You've just got to clean out. And I ran across, and you know there's a tradition in Rotary when your picture's in the paper, there's no time limit on it. You have pay up. So for some who only knows reason, I kept this Guilford College newspaper from November of 1983.
Okay, so we're all something.
Well, the point is, I'm looking through here, why am I, obviously, one of the great alumni of Guilford College picture must be in here. I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm looking, and there's no reason why I was keeping this paper at all, except 1975. Jonathan Smith of Greensboro is a general partner of an investment fund company. The fund, which specializes in value-oriented analysis, and it goes on, glowing report about Jonathan, which he wrote himself. But here's his picture.
Oh my God.
So,
oh my God.
He's so handsome, I mean, there's no question that Jonathan.
Oh my God.
Take that.
Jonathan, that needs to be passed around.
Jonathan, just to add perspective to this, when that article came out, Ashley and Sarah weren't even born.
When that article came out, hedge funds could name themselves. Whatever you wanted to. Woot woot, look what I did.
And well, I had my dollar right here. I was going to confess.
Did you bring it?
No.
Hold on, let's put
Louis
it
Storage got a really nice write-up in the Triad Business Journal this past week, and actually got my picture, and that was a lot of fun.
Well, pass it around.
Pass it around. There we go. Pass Johnson's thing around too.
Oh, don't smell. No, that's not fair. It's old. It's old.
And you know, Grandpappy Lewis, he had a friend, and he said this guy was so optimistic. He bought a funeral suit with 2 pairs of pants.
Buster, $5 for having your picture in the paper and not owning up to it.
There's no statute. In other words, there's no statute of limitations on happy dollars. Is that what we're saying? For our guests, you're welcome to stay. We're going to have a club assembly to kick off our new year. But feel free to stay if you'd like. And I'll kick it off. Those of you that may have seen my email the other day, but it's kind of hard to improve on perfection. If you weren't at the changing of the guard or didn't hear my speech, you can still go online, but I got some big footsteps to follow, but there's always room for a few tweaks, and we're going to have some fun this year. As you know, we're videoing our meetings, so you can do a makeup now and just go to the gatecityrotary.com website and actually see what you missed, happy dollars and all. A few times in the coming year, I'm going to mix things up, and don't be surprised if you don't get a table assignment when you walk in the door, just to mix it up. And, you know, it's great to sit at the same table every week, but I thought it would be good to mix it up from time to time. Ralph's going to do a bang-up job with some of our social events, and I thought it would be kind of neat, and this was a suggestion that came in the survey I sent, that maybe we have some 545s at members' places of business. Kind of in the true origin of Rotary. It'd be kind of a good way to get to know each other, so that'll be a new twist in the coming year. I know everyone would like to see a tour of a dog show factory. We're going to try to mingle in some old member talks. My favorite speeches, honestly, are the new member talks, but for the benefit of our new members, it would be good for some of our old members to get up, and so that those that don't really know them that well, or you know what their background is, so that'll be a little bit of a twist. You heard Ralph did the Rotary moment. That's something new. You know, we all have something we've done, some connection to this club that's really neat. I mean, your son telling you one day I want to be a Rotarian. I mean, there's nothing better than that. Dennis Marcotte had a really good idea that we circulate the name of a guest in advance. Maybe some of us might know that guest. It would be good. Send it to our GC Rotary at Google Groups email address. Just let everybody know I'm bringing so-and-so this week, and maybe somebody else knows them. It just would be, or if you're going to miss the meeting, it sort of lets you know who was there. I think that's a great idea. We'll do a lot of our same service projects, but there's going to be some new ones, and Danny Farley's going to talk here in a minute. And we've got a few initiatives coming that way. Public image, of course, the videoing is one way. That goes on our Facebook, and Steve Brandon's got some ideas, and Tom Richardson, who's coming along, is going to be a new member here shortly, is going to help him. But to see if we can, get some press releases and get our name out there. We do some great stuff, and it's really just sometimes it's okay to brag. And then, as I mentioned in my speech, I'd like to stress that we get some diversity in the club. I mean, younger, different gender, different background. I mean, that's an initiative of Rotary itself. There's Gold Club points for that. That's not really the reason to do it, but it's good to mix it up. I mean, we're not old men and their fathers. So if any of you know someone a potential Rotarian, and it's always great to get an article from one of our members, and then Buster can remind that some in the room weren't born when that article was written. Okay, at this time I'll call on Dennis Marcotte. He'll take a few minutes and just tell you about some of the plans for membership in the coming year.
And if you'll notice, I am dressed.
Maybe we could have a goal to get you in khakis and flip-flops in here one day.
Khakis, but not flip-flops.
Before I forget, would all the board members stay after for just a moment after? We're going to do a quick photo. I think we're all here, and we'll do a picture for the website.
Okay, just a quick question. Anybody who's 60 years old or older, raise your hand. Oh, pretty cool. So, we're talking about a club getting younger, we're old, let's get younger and everything else. I'm changing a rule. Everybody who's 60 years old or older is now 59 years old. Yay! Does that help, Bobby? You weren't listening.
We lost a year.
We lost a year. Well, yeah, I think some of the things that I'd like to see us do is meet each other outside of the confines here. And one of the things that I suggested to Bobby if we could work out is to find out where everybody works and have a map, because there's some, surprisingly, I didn't know some of the Rotarians worked near where I work, and it would be great to go out to lunch, get to know each other better. So we're gonna, I think Bobby said he would do this, because I don't know how to do it, but we're gonna try to have a map and pinpoint where everybody geographically works so we can identify some where we are and get together more often. And plus we'll have the 505 and 545. Some of these goals are pretty easy, I think. You know, membership, increase it by 1 for the year. I think our club offers a lot, so I don't think that would be a real issue. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, this is, and some of this has already been fulfilled, but this is for us to maintain Gold Club Award. We did the July 15th, we got that done. And the training on May 1st was done, and the 10th. And my committee, and it's good. The other thing I really liked this year was that we assigned, if you didn't sign up, we assigned everybody to a committee. I will be calling my committee members to do something off this list that we've got here, just to kind of spread the work a little bit. But I think also to give us, again, to be able to connect, because I think that's the important part of us connecting more than just on Thursdays. Well, we got that gender thing. I guess I needed to go 39 then, didn't I?
39.
39.
29.
29, 39, then I would have been in good shape. I think the other thing we need to be very aware of when we're selecting possible members is how do they fit the club? Do they fit with us? You know, it's kind of interesting because when I was hiring some people the past couple of years, the first thing I did, I wanted to get to know them like we try to get to know people here. But look for a fit when you're looking for a member. I think that's the first thing you look for. Will they fit? Will they do the things that we do? Will they like to do the things that we do? Then I think all the other things will fall into place. But I think when you're looking for somebody, kind of use that as your criteria. Let's see here. Retention rate of 91.5%. Like to think we could keep that higher. But just this is natural attrition as with anything else. We're going to put together a survey as to maybe what you guys would like, I use that, by the way, for girls too, so both. It's a universal name now. And just kind of decide if there's other things you'd like to do. Got the co-card thing or whatever that you guys have done, and maybe there's some other things that we could do as a group that you'd like to throw out, and you know, maybe it could be going to the symphony or anything else or something like that, and make a night of it. But we'll send out a survey, we'll make something up, and give us some feedback, please. I got that. One of the things I quickly learned when I just kind of was stepping into this role was the sequence of getting someone on board and then getting them on a committee, making sure they're getting placed. So we're going to kind of make a tighter procedure as far as that concerned. And one of the discussions is that whoever sponsors the person will help us make sure they get to from their red badge to their blue badge pretty quickly. But my committee will also help you do that. So we want to make sure that's they're involved quickly rather than just sitting on the sidelines for months before they really do anything. So we'll be a little bit more active in kind of controlling that. And I think that'll be fun. The other thing I'm going to suggest we do, heard this at the training session, is that any guest that comes here, we give them a 4-way test card. I thought that was a pretty good idea. You don't have to be a Rotarian to practice that. So that's going to be something else that we'll do. Any Anybody got I'll give you any suggestions else you'd like for us to do for membership?
One, that I spoke at another club a couple of years ago, and any speakers that speak at our club, find out if they're Rotarians. If they're not, invite them to join our club.
Okay. Makes sense.
I like the idea of including people under 40. Obviously, I'm like 50, but once you try to include people under 40, obviously we'll be looking at people like her, not me. We come with a lot of baggage. Some of it will be just saying, so we might have to make a little more room and make the club a little more flexible towards younger people. Some of them are now starting families, which means that they can make certain meetings. Some of them you might want to think about affordability, so which will bring certain standards into place. I really, really love the idea, but that is some of the things that I think you might want to take into consideration.
Yeah, there's some general discussion about that whole subject with a lot of Rotary clubs in Greensboro, is how do you get younger people in and make it affordable, make it pliable, and there's several ideas out there, and I know Mike's got some ideas on that too, Conrad, and so I think that'll be a discussion we have as you are.
Well, yeah, but there's also now what is called a satellite club. So we could have a club that meets at a different time than we do. It is a different price point, but they're members of our club. They also participate in the service projects that we do, but they may meet in the evening from 6 to 7, 5 to 6, have a beer. They don't have to have the food, but they would still be members of the Gate City Club. So that's something that maybe we can explore that will get those younger folks involved.
Okay, great.
Our biggest expense are meals. I mean, the meals are our biggest.
It is.
Money.
That's a cost, and then it's, yes. Right.
But if you do that, then you've eliminated that.
And you just have to work out the logistics, if they visited this club, what you do in terms of the meals and so forth.
And so let me just finish up. If there's anything you want the membership to do during the year, just reach out to me, and we'll consider it and see what we can do. And I look forward to heading this up this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dennis.
Sarah.
Oh, I was going to get
Here's some.
No,
We got one thing I mixed up a little this year for Sarah to help her at Page. Cooper Trotter has volunteered to kind of assist her. He's such a legend over there from his days at Page. I'm not sure what for, but anyway. He's going to be supporting Sarah. But Sarah, if you could tell us about youth services for a minute.
Yes. So we, as Bobby just mentioned, we will continue to work with Page on behalf of their Interact Club. And some of you may know, some of you may not. The past few years, it's been a bit of a strenuous situation, kind of chasing cats and things like that, but we have a renewed commitment from the teacher advisor there, and she's had a lot going on in her personal life, which has kind of added to it. We haven't had great leadership among the students, so we look forward to hopefully having a better year this year. We'll kick it off once they go back to school in August, and we'll elect a president and vice president of the club, and their big thing right at the beginning of the year is Powder Puff, which many of you all have been involved with in the past. And we ask them to participate in a lot of our service projects, and so it's not always nice if our schedules permit to be able to help them out there, because all the students want to play and they need volunteers to run the concessions and things like that. I look forward to working with Cooper this year and continuing that there. We also, as Tony mentioned this morning, we will have an exchange student coming, which kind of falls under the umbrella of this, and so that will be a great thing for the club to have, and it does click us off for something for Gold Club. We'll continue to do the scholarships for GTCC and also for Page in this coming year. I know that how we've implemented, the board has approved the way we decide how much money we have to give. This past year we were only able to give one scholarship to the Page students, and I don't really know what the upcoming year will bring. And I think we're planning, hopefully the first meeting in August, to have our scholarship recipient from Page last year to be here. So we'll look forward to having her and her mother here to speak and tell us a little bit about her. And then outside of that, my goals are to get the students that interact more involved. They, chasing cats and they're all gung-ho about it until it comes down to it, and are they really showing up? But hopefully really plugging them in on the projects where they really can help. They have always been supportive of Big Sweep, always been supportive of ringing the bell. Project Rebuild is a bit tough for them. The club just happens to be a lot of girls. That's just how it's always lended itself to be. So I look forward to continuing to work and hopefully building up that group over there. Any suggestions, thoughts? Yeah.
I am a 3-time Rotarian, meaning I've been in an Interact, Rotaract, and now Rotary. One of the things that when we were small, primary schools, junior, secondary school, that was what it was called when I was in school, is that every week when we have meetings just like the regular Rotary clubs, but ours is in the afternoons.
Yeah.
Making room for any Rotarian can come during their lunch break, okay? They come to visit us. And we see all these nicely dressed professionals who are doing something back for the community. And they are people, mostly people consider everybody in Rotary as a lofty person. It gives us something to look up to. So if you can incorporate that and get some of the well-known Rotarians to every afternoon when they're having meetings, just pop in, say hello, bring them Dunkin' Donuts. It encourages people, young people, to stay there. Our Interact and Rotaract clubs became an exclusive kind of something that almost every student wants to be in. It becomes so attractive. So if you can do something like that, I think you have more guys instead of only girls too.
Yeah.
So.
That's something I would love to implement. The Interact Club meets on a month. It kind of has varied depending on what they have going on. It does meet weekly as they lead up to Powder Puff, and then it's always seemed to kind of fall off the ledge after that. So that's really is one of my goals. And that's a great idea to implement to kind of bring some life into it. So thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Public image, Steve.
All right. Woo! Good. So I've got like 7 minutes left, and I'm not afraid of the microphone. No, actually,
there's 2 people behind you.
I know. So, public image this year not going to be a whole lot different. We're going to be adding some things. One of the things that I wanted to get implemented last year that hopefully now with the help of Tom and a few others we can implement. Maybe not a paper newsletter, but at least a once a month kind of email blast or email newsletter that's talking about things to come or things that happen. Just highlight some things other than just on the website, just on Facebook. Because how many here don't ever even go on Facebook? There's quite a few, obviously. And how many actually read your emails? There's like 4. So those are some of the things that we're going to work on. As emails come out, first of all, I want to encourage everybody with the emails. There's sometimes some really great thoughts from different members that have shared emails, and read the emails. Just scan through it. If it's just something that's not going to apply, we'll scan through and delete it. But there's some really good stuff that's coming through on the emails, and then like they said, we're going to have committee members. If you're not on my committee, doesn't mean you can't participate in Facebook, and it doesn't mean you can't encourage other things. So one of the things that I do want to see a lot more is actual interaction on the Facebook account and social media. If those are some things that you already do a lot of and want to incorporate more for us, that would be a huge help to me. I'm limited at work how much I can do on the computer because of regulations, and so anybody that's willing to help with some of that would definitely love as well. And I'm just going to end today, since we're talking about public image, I would like to point out that I happen to be under the 40 mark. So this is what you get to look forward to. Baggage and all, if you know what I mean.
You got a great haircut. So.
That is true. And the hair that was in my potatoes was not mine today. But anyways, any questions or thoughts? Man, I'm good. All right, that's it.
Another perfect presentation.
Danny, talk about service.
Okay. Let's see, we've been a leader in our community and a leader in Rotary in the area, and what we've accomplished is amazing. We're going to build on that, and a few of the things. Are you okay without a microphone?
Yeah.
As Dan Quinn had added things to, and I'll get with him when time allows. Any suggestions on anything that we had done that you want to change? The activities that we've been involved with. It's been a real pleasure seeing families get involved in service projects like the park sweep cleanup. The couple of things that were interesting that would that have come to the front recently were, you know, the supply warehouse that the Guilford County School Board has developed. Louise Courts is in charge of that, and we'll be asking some members who can allow a drop box at their office. That's another additional way to support the community. That's going to go on almost immediately as soon as I can get the boxes. So I'll ask anybody that is able to take one from a club meeting and as soon as I can get my hands on the boxes, to bring those to your place of work so we can get a good start for the fall school year. And also, you might know that I'm connected with Sanctuary House. It's right around the corner from Jonathan Smith's office. That facility always has needs, and I thought we could have a day of service of either maintenance or repairs added to what we do already. That would probably just be a one-day more of a sweat equity thing. And then I'll need a lot of help with those that have participated in organizing bell ringing, or whether it's assisting in marathon activities, anything like that. Let's see. Anybody that would like to be on a committee that's maybe new in the club that hasn't chosen something, I'm trying to fill. I probably want about 5 or 6 people to get things where I can run it smoothly. I haven't done this in a long time. When I was with the airport club, I served in this position probably 12 years ago. But so the beginning of it, we've got, let's see. Anybody that has any ideas, I'm kind of behind on getting organized for this, so I'd like your assistance. But I'm sure we'll do a great job, and we have one more person to speak.
Well, there's actually two. Really encourage the family aspect. Get your kids out there, ring the bell, and go to Camp Carefree, and get your wife, and significant other, whatever. I mean, it's great. I mean, that's truly the family of Rotary. It's pretty neat. Well, Ralph's Moment involved with his son out there.
Yeah, I can attest to that. We did the stream cleanup once with waiters and everything, and the kids had a great time. They still talk about that. Does anybody have anything to put in? Yes.
I mean, I know I brought this up before, and we have discussed it as a club, but the time frame that we take for the ringing of the bells, would we
Yes.
consider again shortening that?
I think so. I mean, I'm all for it.
I know, I mean, we take.
Are you talking about the
there's a lot
2-week
that we do,
stretch, or?
Yeah, so, just this past year, really the last couple of years, we've really struggled to get enough people to sign up, and there are a number of us that take multiple shifts, but.
Right.
If we reduce the
I know you
time.
filled several,
Right, yeah.
but at the same time, I think we need to stress that everybody in the club
What's true,
needs
but
to
if we're
participate,
adding-
and if
if
they
we're
do,
adding
we
other
can cover.
events, if we keep adding new community service events,
Right.
something that
When
has
is
to
it
get
too much?
Well, I'm under the impression it doesn't, just because we're adding doesn't mean we have to keep everything we've always done before as well, right?
We can't. I mean, some things just go away.
I would like to, again, just encourage from the family aspect that, you know, being a younger member, financially, we can't do as much as others can. Sweat equity wise, we're participating. And my kids have absolutely loved everything they've done. My boys have been to several with me. After the first year, last year, for half the year, about 6 months, my kids were asking, are we going to ring the bell again? Are we going to ring the bell? For 6 months before Christmas was even there. You know, as soon as there were ever thoughts, they were asking. The boys kept asking, hey, Dad, when's the next, you know, building project? And so I think the issue, if I remember right, last year at one of our board meetings with like the ringing of the bell, there were a lot of empty slots, but only about 20% of the club even participated. And so we are a service club. And I think it's on all of us to be behind Danny's effort and support in all the service projects as a club. That's my 2 cents, and I'll put $1 on it. Actually, that's my happy dollar.
I know Camp Carefree is dependent on us. They, you know, that's a shoestring budget in place. So let's just make sure if we can get a lot of participation on that one, that'd be great. Any other comments or Chip?
Danny, to tack on Steve's remark, maybe, and this is not the time to flesh it out, but maybe we choose the top 5 events, service projects that we like to do, and maybe not the same 5 make it every year. And that way, ones that we missed or if we want to return to, we can do that in a subsequent year. But that way, you're not stretching the same people that volunteer for everything too thin, and you're keeping it fresh.
You're on the committee.
You're a genius. Co-chair. Great volunteer.
Great
job.
Ralph, go take a minute and talk about
parties. I have been party guy. That's what I was told I was going to be. Now I'm scheduling all sorts of invocations and moments and everything else, but that's great. One of the things, basically all of our goals, what a great position to follow in because 90% of our stuff is already done. I've knocked out one today by making everybody wear a tie, or most of us, to take our picture. Whoever's on my committee who's not here today, they'll be the club conference chair since they missed this morning. Most of our stuff, Zen, if you have any ideas, all this stuff is in your emails, guys. I think Steve said, read your emails. All of you guys who have been members here a long time know what our goals are as far as the administration. I'll get the 505s, the 545 scheduled, the invocations, and the parties. Bobby did a smart thing by employing my wife. She's on the email, on the committee email, so that helps out a lot. But any suggestions then? You got anything for admin? You got anything for I think we're good, but if you read the email, you'll know if you're on my committee or not. And again, if you would like to be part of the party planning and all that, please join up. We're taking volunteers.
Mike Conrad has already volunteered his home for the Christmas
That's
party.
right. Thank you, Mike. He hasn't told us what the fees are going to be yet, but we think we're going to be able to save some money.
Yeah, we'll take a moment and talk about foundation.
Back in the spring, I put this on everybody's table, so we'll put it on everybody's table again. And basically, so what we'll do is we're going to try and make Gold Club again, and so we're going to do the things that we need to do related to Gold Club. Since we've done it every year, this is fairly easy. One thing, and Mike and I are going to meet and talk from a district level and be a little more strategic about some of the foundation giving and review our records to see where everyone is at as far as foundation giving. All right, for those of you that are new, Rotary International is the mothership. If you ever hear me refer to the mothership, it's the mothership. That is the foundation that we support. We support work all over the world through giving to Rotary International. Then we have our yacht here, Great City, and I guess we have an ocean liner in the middle that's the district grants. So there's district grants, which are on the cruise ship, and we've applied for district grants. This year we've applied to support Haiti and the projects that Jack does, Vietnam and the projects that Dan Quinn does, the Guilford County Schools software program, which is part of a district grant that we do with some other clubs, and also a project that Steve Mackler does with Moldova. It's a real $300 we've asked for that. What John Spillman told me is that actually more clubs, double the amount of clubs applied for district grants this year. So it looks like we might get half of that. We're committed to getting $1,950 from the district because it's based on our giving. What we give this year affects what we get 3 years down the road. Is that correct?
Comes back in 3 years.
Right. So it's a cycle. So the more our club gives to the mothership, the more we get to give out in district grants, basically. So so that's that. So it looks like we're not going to get the 3,800. I can just tell you now. And you are on the committee. You can probably say we'll get closer to the 2,000 range for our district grants. What Bobby and I talked about is that the club, which is the cruise ship, no, the ocean, the yacht. The yacht might fund some things that the ocean liner won't fund. That to kind of make up the difference, especially for the grants that are within our club, both Vietnam and Haiti, because those are so important to us. And we know that the dollar for dollar, the money goes where it's supposed to go, the work's being done, and we want to support those projects fully. What Jack's doing is so cool. They're actually doing a sustainable gardening plot program in Haiti, where they're training the young men and women at the orphanage to be farmers. They're working with a university, and a third of the money that the farmers make go into their pocket, a third go back for seeds and to self-sustain the project, and then a third goes to the orphanage. Is that right?
Back to our own kitchen.
Yeah, so it's like, that's such a cool project that we definitely want to support that. And of course the good work in Vietnam that Dan's doing. So that's my report. Any questions about it? We'll probably do some minutes, Foundation Rotary, as part of the Rotary moment. If you want to be on the fundraising committee for the foundation, one on the porch at my house. Anyway, any other questions about foundation giving or foundation activities?
Thank you, Beth. Well, let's see. Raffle. We don't have a speaker. Who's an objective member in the interest of the four-way test?
I'd say our past president.
Yeah, I didn't buy a ticket.
You didn't buy a ticket?
I didn't buy a ticket.
Don't forget your cart fund on your table.
And winner is 977.
Honey!
Are you? Are you back in town?
Yeah. And the cards are,
Good.
are the cards